How's everybody doing today? Support our border patrols locally, statewide, nationwide. Support our border patrols. They're going through a hard time right now. Well, guys, we have a very interesting show for you today. I'm waiting for a little bit more viewers because that's where the fun comes in. Let me know, guys, if y'all can hear me right. Let me know, thumbs up, anything like that. That way we can make sure feedback's okay. You guys can hear me clearly, not too much echo. It's not loud or anything like that. Let me know in the comments real quick. If y'all can shoot me a comment, I'll be taking a look at it. We have a lot of stuff to go over today, guys. It's going to be a very interesting show. I actually just got off of seeing Mr. Banda's live. I know I was supposed to be on at 8 o'clock. It's 8:15, and I apologize for my tardiness, but I was having a little bit of technical difficulties. I had to re-hook up my Facebook. I had to re-hook up the page. I had to re-hook up the YouTube to make sure, the viewers. I was trying to hook up our what is it called? TikTok, a new little thing that everybody likes to be watching nowadays, right? And I was unsuccessful at the time, yeah. But we're here now, right? We're here now, and we're waiting for some more people to come on our live broadcast, the way we like to do our podcasts, live in living color, straight with the interaction with our people that like to watch, and we appreciate everybody watching. Guys, we have a real good show for you guys. Like I said, I had just gotten off Mr. Banda's live, and that was very interesting. And I know he knows how to obtain and keep an audience. So we thank y'all for joining in, and we hope we're not cutting into Mr. Banda's live. He's very entertaining, Mr. Banda. But we have a lot of issues that's going on. 16. We have 15 right now. So 16 viewers. Haha, según el otro guy. I don't know what other guy. That's cool. It's my thing is everybody has their own lane. I say stick to your lane. All we do here is give you the news that many people or other news medias may not give you, and we pride ourselves in that. We pride ourselves in that we're not in anybody's pocket. We're not a trophy or a plaque on somebody's wall that they say they own us, or he can't say this, he can't say that about me. So I don't know who the otro guy is. I kind of just stick to myself, worry about what I do. It doesn't really matter what anybody else does or el otro guy, anything like that, right? Paco, he wants to say what's up to you, Nit. Yeah, that's the thing, right? We did see, I'll go ahead and explain it. We did see a county unit. There was a complaint. We drove over here. We followed up on that complaint because there is concerned citizens out there. And that's all it was. It was interesting how the sheriff showed up and all of that stuff, right? But I didn't even know who was driving that vehicle. I don't really care. Who's the driver? I don't know. Thank Aframael, appreciate that. Yeah. Okay. Jake David, always a good viewer, and we appreciate our viewers, of course. Now, guys, maybe you guys have been seeing some of the information we've been putting out here lately, and it's very interesting, all the dynamics that are going around our community right now. And I urge our citizenship, whether you're in the county or the city, I want you guys to please pay attention to what is going on. It's getting very interesting, and it's getting interesting because we do have a we do have a election coming up. It was very interesting whenever we had the city elections, But now the county elections are coming. And those county elections, guys, let me tell you, they're going to be, it's going to be interesting. You're going to be seeing all types of stuff that maybe you haven't seen before. Maybe things that, people are going to be pulling all stops to make sure they stay and they stay in position, they stay in power. And we've been seeing this trend going on that that's what they're starting to do now. Yeah, rising Texan, Braves. Ugh. Hats off to the Braves. They. I mean, you got to give your props where you give your props. I'm an Astros fan. I can't pride myself as being the rising Texan without celebrating Texas sports, and that includes professionally, right? So I'm an Astros fan. I'm a Cowboys fan. I'm a Spurs fan. Dallas Stars. I mean, I don't watch hockey, but Dallas Stars, Houston Dynamo. All those teams. That's where I am. I'm a Texan, baby. The rising Texan, TRT, Isaac Ruiz, TRT, right? But back to the matter at hand. You're going to see a lot of things that are going to be unfolding because of the election that is coming up in the county. They are going to be doing certain things, moving things around, trying to cause, there's no other word to describe it but havoc. Havoc, guys. That's what they're causing. Now, before we even get into that, guys, I do want to comment about the city of Eagle Pass. Now, we were there yesterday for the city of Eagle Pass. They had a city council meeting. We went to go support. As many of you do know, I'm an ex-employee of the city of Eagle Pass. I was about there 14, 15 years. And, I was always one of those employees that took their job very seriously, to maybe even to a fault. I always wanted what was the best for my community because I had a young family growing up. I had my kids being raised in this community. So I felt as a stakeholder in this community, I wanted to do the absolutely very best of what's not only what's best for the community, but the people inside of our community, So, and that includes the city employees. So what we were up there to talk about with the city council is we strongly supported their efforts or what was placed on the agenda, which was a survey, an employee survey for the city manager for the city manager to be evaluated or critiqued or to have input into the city manager, because ultimately all the employees work for the city manager. And I think it's very important, to have input. Now, constructive criticism. That's the thing. I mean, if you cannot take any constructive criticism from, your subordinates, from your partners, from, even on this show, I've had a lot of, suggestions, critiques about the podcast. And, you have to, I'm not saying you have to change everything to accommodate every single, comment, but it should be at least a tool to strive to do better and to know, especially since the council oversees the city manager, it should be a tool for them to gauge how the city manager is doing. Now, I was, we went to go speak about that. And we were in support of it, strongly support of it, because that's something that isn't typically done. But if you go into bigger companies, it's a regular thing done to not to tear down the leader, the CEO, a city manager. It's constructive criticism. And that only brings better overall either behavior or procedures, policies, things such as that. I think that, and just so you guys know, the motion was made by Councilwoman Monica Cruz. Now she went ahead and moved the item. She didn't even get a second. Now you can totally see the split that's happening right now in with city council, and it's very upsetting because Monica Cruz was a very popular candidate, a very strong candidate with experience, independent, which is a big thing. It should be a very big thing for this community to understand, for this community to recognize that this lady, she doesn't have to serve as a council. She isn't trying to improve her status in the community. She just wants things to be better in this community. And through her experience, because we did have her before in an interview, we learned from her as far as, a lot of dealings that she had here that a lot of us didn't know. Why? Because she wasn't the type to, stand in front of the cameras or brag about this, brag about that, which is a great quality. Humility. It's a great quality to have, to be humble and to be humble about who you are and what you want to do. Now, the situation that unfolded was Miss Monica Cruz was in favor of this item. She moved this item. You had Councilman Billy Davis, Councilwoman Yolanda Ramon, Councilman Elias Diaz, and Mayor Rolando Salinas. You had these people not even support the fact that Miss Monica Cruz wanted to do something good, wanted to help the employees have a voice in who their leader is, how their leader acts, how their leader conducts himself. Now, the issue with that is I see, and you guys can all see that there's a division in the city council. There's a big division. I myself am very upset as a voter because whenever I approached, whenever I interviewed Mayor Rolando Salinas, there was a sense that he would be a change agent for many employees that are there, for our community. And you know what, I mean, he personally told me about the nepotism, and that he's not for the nepotism, and that he would do everything in his power to avoid and to disrupt the nepotism issue that was going on. And this was personally told to me. And the support was there. We did vote for him. I mean, I will say we did vote for Mayor Rolando Salinas. But right now, the way we've seen him, and I know he is early into his term. I don't think he has a year yet. He has a couple of months into his term. But you can see the difference between these two candidates, Councilwoman Monica Cruz, Mayor Rolando Salinas, and who's really fighting for this community, who's really fighting for the employees. Because anywhere you go, any business, you can have a manager, you can have a leader, but that leader is nothing without his or her employees. That's just a known fact. So, and it goes with anything with a board, a government board, a corporation that has a board. The board makes decisions that benefit the whole. But if the employees do not follow through, do not execute on what this board desires, so you tell me, what good is this board? When was the last time we saw Councilman Billy Davis, Councilwoman Yolanda Ramon? When was the last time we saw Councilman Elias Diaz pick up a shovel, take out a barricade when it rains, chase down a burglar, protect our city, turn off, extinguish a fire. No. We don't see that from the councilmen and women. We don't see that from the city council. Those are the employees that do that. And it was very upsetting to see this motion not even be entertained into discussion and into a vote. So I'm saying it right now, and I know there's going to be a little, hurt feelings here and there, and that's fine. But Councilman Davis, at least you said a piece. At least you spoke up. Councilwoman Ramon, Elias Diaz, Councilman Elias Diaz, and Mayor Orlando Salinas. I mean, it was just a cop-out about legal situations and so forth. They've had plenty of surveys before, maybe not this kind of survey, but one of the things that they need to understand, regardless of who the council people are, the employees are still there. There's employees that have been there for years and do not have their voice heard. Now, they want to say that, most employees don't really deal directly with the city manager. Okay, then you know what employee deals with them, what employee doesn't deal with them. Obviously, there was something wrong for Councilwoman to keep on bringing this up. Concerns us as a constituency. I am concerned about the city manager. It feels that he doesn't have the best interest in our city. Go ahead, bring in scooters. Huge liability. Their city's getting sued for that stuff, for electric scooters. It seems to me they're more worried about looking good, or like if they're doing something so great. And you know what those out-of-towners usually do? And that's what he is, an outsider, the city manager, economic development director. They're outsiders, and I understand they want to look good. What are they going to do? Are they going to raise their families here for the next 10, 15 years? No. They're going to hang their hat on projects that they brought here to the city of Eagle Pass that we do not need or do not fit our culture, our situation, our what we're trying to do as a city. It does not go with us. Electric scooters? So much money is being funneled into the old Riskins building to buy, to renovate. What about the rest of Main Street? What about all those dilapidated buildings? Some of those buildings are ready to fall down. You don't think that a lot of those stores could have been assisted rather than the city putting millions of dollars into one building for themselves? Now, I get it. A business incubator is a great thing. It's a great thing. It's not a new concept. We've been talking about that, or the city's been talking about that since I worked there. So it's not anything new. Now, did they get it done? Yes. But they got it done on who? On the business owners that closed their shops up. On the business owners that lost their businesses. That could have gotten some kind of funding, like other cities applied through the economic department, U.S. Economic Agency, EDA, and Economic Development Agency. But yet the city of Eagle Pass, in the height of a pandemic, applied to renovate their own building. Just take that little pill a little bit. Who do you think looks good in that? Is it us, the citizens, with so many businesses closing down? No, it's not. So many people are trying to make businesses now because they had to leave their teaching jobs. They had to leave their regular everyday jobs because somebody in the household had to take care of the kids in their house. So a lot of people started becoming entrepreneurs, which is great for Eagle Pass. It's great for Eagle Pass. But where is the support? City of Del Rio, it's on its third round of funding for businesses. On its third round of funding. Now, there's businesses there in Del Rio. Of course, priority is going to be given to those businesses that did not receive funding in the previous rounds. But you could have gone up to 3 $5,000 grants to help businesses stay afloat. Businesses were closing. You're telling me, is that wanting to look good on paper so you can say in your next job, hey, I got this for the city of Eagle Pass, while businesses everywhere are closing down? It doesn't help our citizens. Pandemic's almost over, and barely they're getting a revolving loan going for our businesses. City of Del Rio's on their third round. How? If that is not the most selfish move that the city of Eagle Pass has done, think about that. And hats off to the city of Del Rio and their economic development director. She's doing a great job. An Eagle Pass native, working over there in Del Rio, doing a hell of a job to help businesses stay afloat. So hats off to them over there in Del Rio. They got a great team. I used to work there, and I mean, I'm telling you, they have a great team out there. Hats off. 3 rounds of funding, $5,000 each. Priority goes to those that haven't gotten funding before, but if you could have applied 3 times. They're barely getting to funding for businesses now. Businesses already closed. The pandemic's already gone. Just think about that. That's what they don't want you to know. Now, city council's up there defending this city manager so tight, so close. Why? Because he does what the city council wants, not what's good for our community. There's a difference. There's a difference between getting things done for the community and getting favors, doing things that the city council wants. Nepotism issue. Anybody can read the ordinance. Now, I mean, that's just the way it is. Why? That's why the city manager right now is giving out raises to son-in-laws, not releasing information about possible failing drug tests, and all these tie back to a certain councilwoman that's coming up closely on her term to be out of there. And it's just disappointing that 4 council people turn their backs on employees. And anybody that's an employee, you got to feel it right here. It's like, damn. There's obviously something wrong. There's obviously something wrong because look at the contract extension they gave him. If he was a good city manager, don't you think they would have given him 3 years extension? It would. I mean, if you have a baseball player that's so good, a football player that's so good, why only lock him into a 1-year extension? Doesn't make any sense, right? Does not make any sense. Now, I'm seeing a little bit of the comments, and a lot of the people, you guys are correct. I mean, I'm seeing one right now. Shout out to my tia watching from Laredo. Thank you, tia. Right there, Monica Cruz. She was the only one there to defend the interest of employees. And you know what? You have happy employees, they're going to do a wonderful job. Attitude reflects leadership. Always. Attitude will always reflect leadership. If leadership is not solid, attitudes are not going to be solid, and you are going to be having problems. I mean, who are the ones that patch your street holes? Who are the ones that reconstruct your streets? Who are the ones that maintain our public our sports complex? Who are the ones that patrol our area? Who are the ones that turn off fires? Who are the paramedics that pick up your father, your mother that's sick, or somebody that had an accident? It's not the city manager. Definitely not the city manager. It's our everyday workers, our first responders, our parks, our tax office, our finance department employees, excuse me, our human resources, our municipal court. Those are the ones that are there every day getting things done for our community. Don't you think they deserve a voice? They deserve a voice. And the worst thing you can do as a governing body, the city council, is to turn your back on your own employees. And that's what we saw from the mayor, Rolando Salinas, Councilman Elias Diaz, Councilwoman Yolanda Ramon, and Councilman Billy Davis. You guys turn your backs on your own employees. Another thing that I want to mention, they mentioned that employees call them directly whenever they have a problem. That is against the chain of command. You, as 8-year Miss Yolanda, Mr. Ramon, Mr. Billy Davis, you guys have been there 8 years. Elias, you've been there a couple of years. Rolando Salinas, you've been there for a while too. You guys should know that is a violation of chain of command, which is in the city ordinance as well. You follow chain of command. So when an employee calls you directly, that's breaking chain of command. Why would you entertain those calls? That sounds like favoritism to me. That sounds like you have certain employees that you're listening to. Not all employees have your phone numbers. They don't. So how does that work? Yes. I'll tell you, Jay David, we got a couple of people talking about retaliation. There's a reason why I don't work for the city of Eagle Pass anymore. And it's that right there. Retaliation. Why? Because I haven't changed one bit since when I worked with the city, since I worked with the county. I'm an outspoken guy. If I see something wrong, I'm going to say it. If things are not happening the way they should, I'm going to say it. Retaliation exists. And one of these days, I'm going to go get my paperwork and I'm going to show you all the documents. All the documents as proof of what the finance department did to me when I was in the finance department. I had every single employee within a span of 2 weeks, a week, give false statements against me to try to get rid of me. That happens, guys. That definitely happens. You know, thank God we had a city manager at that time that realized, how can this guy, he's never been written up, and then all of a sudden in the span of 2 weeks, he has 20 documents against him? Really? Guys, it happens. Now, councilmen may not directly retaliate against you, right, Luis Fuentes? But they have their ways of getting things done. They have ways of putting their own employees there, employees to give directors trouble, employees that they put in to get information from you or to get information from a department. I've seen it with my own eyes plenty of times. And it hasn't changed. I haven't worked for the city for about 4 or 5 years, but it hasn't changed. It's the same faces. The same faces there that know how to stick with certain officials that have been there for about 8 years. Those councilmen and women that have been there for 8 years, thank God that time's coming up. Time is coming up. And again, I do wanna salute Miss Monica Cruz, because I think that us as a community need to pay attention and recognize when somebody wants to do what's right or they're trying to do what's right for the community, for their employees, regardless of what the rest of the board feels. And you can see it. Just turn on the TV or Facebook, and you can see in these meetings how divided the city council is. And it's 4 against 1. And I'm disappointed because I thought the mayor, just like I believed when I voted for Monica Cruz, I believed them that they were going to change. Monica has stuck by her word. She is there for change. You see it. She's fighting. Whether she may be the not the most popular within the group amongst themselves, because it's my understanding that she's a very, very popular councilwoman, because she is fighting for her employees and she's fighting for her community, but she is fighting the old political machine. She is fighting those that have been there for so long that want to do it their way. Throwing nepotism. I mean, let's ignore the big elephant in the room. Let's not pay attention about a councilwoman's nephew being hired. We have the documents on there. Even Human Resources checked the box off that it was nepotism, and he was still hired. Now, the other day, Councilwoman Yolanda Ramon wanted to waive a document how legal it wasn't nepotism. And it's my strong belief that in the state of Texas, I don't think any state representative should be serving for any city as a city attorney. Why are we allowing something like that to happen? Why? It's disappointing, guys. It's disappointing. And we see what's going on. We can see what's going on about a mile away. This city manager, he used to work, he ran for state rep. He didn't win. He used to work at a senator's office. So who would you want to keep in if you needed help to run an election? Somebody that's experienced in elections, somebody that's experienced in state level politics. I'm asking. We'll leave it at that. Now, for the juicier side of the story, Maverick County. Illegal passes in Maverick County. So, guys, we have several requests that we've been putting out. Requests for... sorry. Yeah. We just smile back and salute. Guys, we have pending requests. We have requested cell phone records, text messages. You guys saw that somebody in the county, uh, former county planner April M. Rodriguez, we requested her check stubs a while back. There was a 4-month period where she was not making any hours. I guess she wasn't working, but she was still getting paid a stipend, a phone stipend. Why? I mean, was she not here to do her work? I mean, it was 4 months that there was no hours submitted by her, according to what we received from the county. So then why was the county still paying her stipend? So we requested those months back in 2019. We requested the text messages, media, emails. We requested those phone records. We also requested from an earlier month in February 2021. That's when, some news came out of, I mean, we're trying to dig in and trying to investigate that, right? Of some kind of infidelity or something. And we just want to confirm and see what's going on. See if there's anything about that going on, right? But we requested her phone records. We have requested the sheriff's records. We've requested the judge's records. These are phone records. We requested Jerry Morales's and Rosy Cantu's phone records as well. Now, the thing with that is if they're getting paid stipends by the county for their cell phone, it's us, the people, us, the taxpayers, that are providing that for them if we're paying a stipend to them or if we're giving them a phone. It's public domain. So we're eagerly waiting for that. I know we still haven't gotten an answer about the funding that was released through the American Rescue Plan program. That's a whole nother fishy situation that they keep on claiming the Texas Rangers are investigating, and maybe they are. Maybe they are. I don't want to say that they're not. The only thing is that they're investigating every single case. I mean, Commissioner's Court did release some funding a couple of meetings back. So if they're released funding, that means that that funding is not being investigated. It's a certain case that's being investigated, which I understand we can get the information from that particular case. But what about all the funding that was released through the accounts payable through Commissioner's Court? And I totally understand when a case is something's being investigated. I mean, they need to keep it under wraps. I understand. The whole program isn't being investigated. There's only a certain case that is by the Texas Rangers. But, I mean, if everything was being investigated, then the Texas Rangers would say, do not release any funding to anybody. There was funding released earlier this month in October. We have already requested, it was October 25th, so it should be coming around pretty soon. We requested the names of the committee members, the minutes of the committee, what was said in the committees, what else? The days that they had those meetings for the American Rescue Plan, and we haven't gotten word yet. But I mean, they have 10 business days, so we got to wait those 10 business days. That's understandable. But why weren't these meetings conducted in public? They're making decisions on public funding. Now, the only confirmed people that I do know were part of this committee, and we've confirmed this because in Commissioner's Court, they were appointed. It was the county judge and Jerry Morales. So what I'm interested in seeing is that why were these meetings kept in private without announcing it to the public. Why wasn't the public allowed to attend these meetings? There was never any announcement. This is public funding, guys. This is money that was given to the county to spend on its community, not to take care of, over expenditures in the county, but for you guys, for the community, for those businesses that closed, for those individuals that had difficulty paying rent, paying utilities. That's what that money was for. Not so the county spending so much money on advertisement, maybe. Full page advertisement, color pages, y'all know who you are. That's not what the money was for. It was for our community, our residents. Why weren't we allowed to be a part of those meetings? What's with all the secrecy? What are they trying to hide? Are they trying to hide something from our community? Now, guys, I was at the Maverick County meeting on Monday, I believe. Yes, Monday. So at this particular meeting, we had I haven't gone through the comments, guys, as much as I usually do. So yeah. For Commissioner's Court, and we've heard this from Commissioner Jerry Morales, we've heard this from County Judge David Salcedo, transparency. We are as transparent as can be. Why not have those meetings public? They should have been public. Public funding was involved. I mean, if the Texas Attorney General doesn't have one hell of a investigation there, why have them in public? Why not have it in public? I'm sorry. Why hide these meetings from the public? Why not let us know who got funding? Was there certain businesses that got funding that people would be, kind of wondering about? I don't know. That's why we're asking for the records, right? So this Monday, we were at the Commissioner's Court meeting, and we spoke about politics. We spoke about old machinery, the old political machine, and the way they handle things. So, Commissioner Precinct 2, her election is coming up next year in 2022 in March. Hey, do you wonder why she got the most money to do street paving? $600,000 compared to $100,000 for the rest of the precincts. And my commissioner, Jerry Morales, for Precinct 1, he was the one who moved on that. Commissioner Jerry Morales, why, Commissioner Morales? Do you not think that Precinct 1 doesn't need paving? I was out there the other day in Las Quintas, and there's a lot of streets that could use some repairs. But you did not think that highly enough of your residents in Precinct 1 to give them the funding, to fight for the funding, for equality, for all. There's 4 precincts. 1 million, everybody gets 250. Everybody's happy. But no, 600,000. J. David, I agree. But you know what? Commissioner Precinct 1, Jerry Morales, moved the motion to give $600,000 to Precinct 2, Rosie Cantu. Why? Is it because there's an election coming up for her? Is it because there's an election coming up? Is that why? Now, to go along with that, there was a road and bridge workshop. This is the kicker, guys. This is the kicker. So, Joey, we'll talk about that right now. So, you have the paving, 600,000 out of $1 million. So near, well, what's that? Like near 2/3 of the funding going to Precinct 2. And then you have the restructuring of road and bridge to accommodate that street paving. Right now, the way it's structured in Maverick County with road and bridge is you have two supervisors or two superintendents, Jose Luis Perez and Neto Guevara. Neto is his expertise, I believe, he knows street paving. Okay. So the way it's worked is that these superintendents are switched every so often, every 3 months, every 6 months, whatever the set allotted time is. They handle 2 precincts, the other one handles the other 2 precincts, and then they'll switch, right? Okay, so to accommodate all the extra funding that Precinct 2 got, they moved up another superintendent, Cresdorn. So now Cresdorn's going to handle 2 precincts. Jose Luis Perez is going to handle the other 2 precincts, while Neto Guevara handles all the paving in all the county. All of Maverick County, he's in charge of the paving. Now, let me know in the comments, see if y'all know the answer to this. Where do y'all think that Neto's going to be spending the next couple of months? What precinct? What precinct y'all think Neto's going to be working at for the next couple of months? I'll give you a hint. There's an election coming up in that precinct. Don't worry, I'll wait. Doom, 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 doom. Whoa! I'll tell you who's on the ball today. Yep. Miss Mateos, hello. How you doing, Julie? Good to see you. Following our podcast tonight. It's an honor. Ding, ding, ding. Winner, winner, chicken dinner, guys. So they pushed $600,000 of paving. This is tight. Like, guys, the election is so close. It's the fourth quarter. It's the fourth quarter of them. It's the fourth quarter for them, and what are they doing? They're calling their best plays. They're putting their best players out. They rearranged the structuring of road and bridge to accommodate the $600,000 given to Precinct 2. What for? So they can have all the residents, oh, look at all the street paving they did. What about the last 8 years? What about the last 8 years, Rosie? Miss Cantu, Precinct 2. The proof is in the pudding, or the proof is in the liquor, whatever your preference is, right? Guys, it cannot be more readily out there for us to see. $600,000 is awarded for paving for street reconstruction, for street paving in Precinct 2. And then you restructure road and bridge so you can have the street supervisor that does all the paving, I feel sorry for Neto because he's going to be in precinct 2 the next couple of months because that's where the election's at. That's where they're behind, and they know it. They know it. Guys, and it doesn't stop there. It doesn't stop there. They're bringing out the gadget plays in the fourth quarter. They're bringing out the gadget plays. The Statue of Liberty. They're bringing out the flea flicker. They're bringing out all of the trick plays. Maverick County is redistricting, put out a public hearing notice that they want to redistrict the precincts. It's about 20 days until registration. In 20 days, candidates are going to be allowed to register to run for these positions. And the county chooses to redistrict the precincts 20 days before people can register? Are they trying to do that because they're afraid of some strong competition in one of these precincts? I mean, it can't be for the county judge race, obviously, because anybody in the county can run for that. But you have to be in a precinct to run for that precinct. You have to live there. So could they be wanting to redistrict to leave someone out of a precinct so she can't run, or he, but so she can't run? Guys, look at what they are doing. I bring you nothing but the truth of what is going on. I bring you a perspective that maybe you knew already, maybe you didn't know. But you tell me, if I was worried about somebody running, why wouldn't I pull the exact same thing the Republicans did? Do the exact same thing the Republicans did in redistricting the lines, the districts. That way you guys can manipulate certain things. And watch, it's going to pass. Well, however they choose to redistrict, it's going to pass. Why? Why is it going to pass? Because we have a majority that is established in communities in commissioner's court. The majority, and we know who they are. It's the county judge, precinct 1 commissioner Jerry Morales, precinct 2 commissioner Rosy Cantu. That's what's going to happen, guys. It's going to pass. However they redistrict, watch. One of the candidates that is possibly going to run, maybe rumors came about, she's going to magically be outside of that precinct before this is all said and done. That's their move. They're playing chess while other people are watching some grass cutter do some live videos that no one really cares about, distracting. And they're doing all this meanwhile. That's the move, guys. That's the way things are going to be pulled out. And a very good candidate, possibly, right? I don't know who's going to run. Her, him. But it's going to happen. If Commissioner's Court gets their way, what they are going to do is redistrict and leave certain people out of certain precincts so they will not be able to run for that precinct. Why else 20 days out of registration for Commissioner's Court? Why else do it? That's what we need to be asking, guys. If this is not the old political machine working its hardest, because they know us, the community, we have them up against up against the wall. We have them up against the wall. We see. I hope you guys know out there, and those that are watching, those that are going to watch this later on. I hope you guys notice this majority is trying to rule our county. They're trying to do whatever they want, regardless of what we want. And we are the ones who put them there. Us, the residents, the constituents. How do we put them there? By voting. I mean, that's the move, guys. That's what everything. That's why all of these chess pieces are being moved around. They're trying, or by not voting. That's a very good point. That's a very good point, guys. Don't let $10, $20, $30 decide. Don't let this small amount of money decide your children's future. Once they get there to commissioner's court, do you think they care about your children? Honestly, do you think they care about your people? Do you think they care about your family? Or are they worried about just their family? It's a good example. Look at all the nepotism that goes on in the county. Maverick County is county of conflicts, county of nepotism. I mean, Precinct 1 commissioner, he has family members working for Maverick County. Rosie Cantu, Precinct 2 commissioner, has family working, direct family working for her. Nepotism capital of the world. And I'll say this: I have dealt with I believe it's Sergeant Cantu, great guy, and it's nothing personal, nothing like that. It's great guy, has always been, and to me has always been the way law enforcement should be, and that's greatly appreciated. It's nothing personal, but again, guys, we need to see what is going on. Now, it's not necessarily commissioners that want to do this. We know that there is a stronghold in that judge spot that, whoo. What can I say? I mean, what can I say that you guys don't already know? I mean, just let's follow how to steal an election. Let's say that. Rules for stealing an election. How would I steal an election? 1, whoever's running and I want to keep them there, give them as much money as I can. Give them as much resources as I can. 1, give them enough funding to take care of projects. How to steal election 101. That's what we're calling this segment. How to steal an election 101. In our segment on how to steal an election 101, brought to you by the Rising Texan. Rule 1, funding. You cannot steal an election without adequate funding. Where does that funding come from? Taxpayers. What's the example of this? $600,000 to precinct 2. What did the other precincts get? 100,000, 100,000, 150,000. Precinct 2, 150,000. Rule number 2, once you get the funding over there to that certain precinct, what do we do next? 2, get them the resources they need to get that funding implemented. Such as, let's pave a bunch of streets, starting with Memo Robinson. How to steal election 101. Again, we got the funding over there in precinct 2. They got the most funding. 2, they got the resources now. How did they get the resources? Well, let's go ahead and put this supervisor to cover these 2 precincts, this supervisor to cover these 2 other precincts, and we'll get one supervisor, the one who does the street paving. He's going to stay in precinct 2 the next couple of months until the election. Neto, if you're watching, I feel sorry for you, man. I mean, nothing, not any hard feelings, but I know you don't probably want to be staying in that precinct 2 for all that time, but that's what's going to happen. So if you guys need to get a hold of Neto, you're probably going to have to go over there to Rosie's office because he's going to be doing some street paving in precinct 2. We know that. Rule number 3 on how to steal an election 101. Redistrict the precincts so any tough competitor does not fall within those precincts. How about that? How about that? Redistrict the precincts, the lines. So let's say there was a strong candidate that was going to come out for precinct 2. Oh, well, maybe we should cut this precinct to where she isn't in precinct 2 anymore. Oh, and when I mean she, it could be a him or her, right? But any strong competitor, cut them out. That's rule number 3, guys. Your strong competitors, you get rid of them. Get rid of those strong competitors. Those that will likely beat you, make sure they're not in the weakest commissioner's precinct, because if not, that weak commissioner's out. How to steal an election 101. And that's exactly what they're doing, guys. That's exactly what they're doing. It's upsetting, but that is what they want to do. They want to take every precaution to make sure who they want will still be there. Who they want will win. That is what they want, but they're not telling you. Do we need to go? Do we need to go ahead and go through that plan again, guys, or we kind of got the gist of it? Guys, the proof is there. The proof is there. Plead the fifth? I don't know. What do you think, Ray? Guys, it's obvious. That's what we have going on. That's what's gonna happen, guys. You gotta love Joey. You gotta love Joey. Joey just talks the truth, says the truth, no filter, no nothing. It is what it is, and he'll tell y'all it is how it is. You know who the man? Of course we do. Of course we do. And that's why I say it might not even be the commissioners. Oh, we know about Obi. Obi Salinas was out there campaigning in 2018 in July, in the summer. I'm sorry, not July. It was before May. He was out there. We have that video up on our TikTok. We have that video up on our Facebook where he's out with Judge Salcedo campaigning house to house. A month later, after the judge wins, an $8,000 contract right then and there. Can't sue what the truth is. So guys, again, I want to just go over it one more time. It might be a little annoying, but just for those that didn't see, how to steal an election. Rule number 1, get funding to where you need to win the election or to steal the election. Get funding over there. Rule number 2, get the resources out there to implement that money that you need. It's all a show. Rule number 3, get rid of all your competitors. Get rid of your strong competitors. How are they doing that? By redistricting the precincts. 20 days before registration for commissioners, they are trying to redistrict the precincts. Why so close to an election? Don't believe any other media out there that says that whatever every 10 years they do this, blah, blah, blah. That's not true. Those are the ones on the payroll. It is what it is. And I say that with all the confidence. And if they have anything to say, we'll request those records too to see about the... All right, great, Paco. Great question, Paco. Great question. How do we prevent or avoid the stealing of this election? How? How do we stop them from doing this? Be a voice for your community. Go out and vote. There's a public hearing tomorrow at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. There's a public hearing tomorrow in Commissioner's Court. They're going to talk about the redistricting. Absolutely. Absolutely. Guys, like I said, I'm no one special. I have never said that I am. I'm not here to prop myself up. I'm here to give my community a voice, an opinion, to be heard. Just like the City of Eagle Pass employees, they deserve to be heard. Our community deserves to be heard. Stop the steal. Hashtag stop the steal. That's what they're trying to do, guys. It's the fourth quarter. They're down. They know they are down because of all of y'all. Because of every single one of y'all that tunes in to this show, the ones that see this later, the ones that are seeking the truth. Stop the steal. Hashtag stop the steal. Guys, I mean, and I'm going to keep on saying this until it's a point where maybe you guys will get a little tired in the next couple of days. But I am just trying to give our community their voice and their vote. That's what counts the most, guys, your vote. Are you tired of only the certain people benefiting? I know I am. Stop the steal. Guys, Now, who has declared that they're going to run? Who has come forward? Who are we looking at as politicians that are going to be running this next election cycle? One has already declared Maverick County Judge David Salcedo. He had Obi Salinas, the 18,000 a month man, through his company Shepherd Government Affairs. He receives $8,000 a month. He was out there promoting the judge. Pull for Maverick County re-election of Maverick County Judge David Salcedo. Oh, sorry. Woo. Pull for Maverick County Judge to re-elect Maverick County Judge David Salcedo. If anybody wants to pay me $8,000 a month, I can come up with something better than that, guys. Okay. Also, 365th District Judge Amado Abascal. Amado Abascal. He's going to be running again for, I don't know how many years he's been there. We'd like to invite him officially. I mean, if anybody knows him, we'll try to approach him to see if he wants to come on our show. As well as David Salcedo, County Judge. We invite you on our show as well. Thank you, Tia. Guys, Amado Abascal, David Salcedo, we want to get to know these candidates a lot more. We want to go in depth, and we will be going in depth with them. Hopefully they accept our interviews. You know how we do it during election season. We try to bring these potentials. That's what they said about David Salcedo. I don't want to go into any particulars about Judge Abascal at the moment. This is not the show for that. I am just bringing up who has declared the politicians. And like I said, Miss Julie, if you do know Judge Abascal, please extend the invitation out to him. We would love to hear from him. We'd love to have him on an interview. We have some questions that might be very interesting to ask him. So if, I think it's something like 30 years he's been the district judge. 30 years. There's some people watching right now that are not even 30 years old. Oh yeah. Julie, please extend the invitation to him. We would love to have him on our show. We would be honored to have the judge on our show. Again, we're not, this is not the show to say anything about him. All we're doing is strictly saying that he has declared that he'll be running for re-election on his seat, where he has been 31 years already. We're not going to go into in depth. Maverick County Judge, again, is the other one that has declared pull for re-election of Maverick County Judge David Salcedo, right? And it's kind of funny. It was actually on the property, the ranch of one of the former state reps, the one that dropped the paquetillo. The former state rep that dropped the paquetillo in an airport. So if you guys take a look at where the money's coming from, you can see and we're definitely going to ask about the campaign finances while we're going through this race. But yeah, I mean, there was a big congratulations or a big thank you from the Maverick County Judge to the state rep that dropped the paquetillo. I'm trying to look for a prop here, but I came unprepared. I'm not as good with props here, but I mean, there's no hard feelings or anything like that. The only thing I will say, had it been anybody watching right now dropping a paquetillo in an airport, you wouldn't be watching right now. You wouldn't be watching right now. Who, Julie? Me? Settle down, Julie. So there you have it, guys. Again, I didn't want to get Yep, that's right. It's the absolute truth. But we'll go ahead and wrap this up. Again, guys, that is just a preview of or an announcement of who has announced that they'll be coming out. They have already announced that they'll be running for re-election. Maverick County Judge David Salcedo, 365th District Judge Amado Abascal. They already declared, right? Now, I have a breaking announcement of who we're going to have in our next podcast. I believe it'll probably be next Wednesday, next Tuesday or so. But we are going to have, and I just barely got this approved, or not approved, but confirmed. Our next podcast that we bring you, we're going to have none other than the District Attorney, Roberto Serna, 294th District. I forgot. Sorry, Mr. Serna, if you're watching out there, but we have a confirmation from our district attorney, Roberto Serna, and we have a confirmation from County Attorney Jaime A.J. Iracheta that they will be participating in our next podcast, the Rising Texan podcast. So, guys, you don't want to miss 293rd Judicial District attorney. 293rd District Attorney Roberto Serna, Maverick County Attorney Jaime A.J. Iracheta will be tuning in. They'll be here with us to have our next, the Rising Texan podcast. So you don't want to mix the next one, guys. So make sure if you follow us on Facebook, you hit the little bell. In YouTube, you hit that little bell. You don't want to miss any more of our podcasts, guys. It's getting good. We're getting around election time, and you know how we do it. We get the elected officials. We bring you, live and in living color. You hear all the ifs, ands, and buts, and we ask those questions that no one else in the media asks. You can guarantee that. Guys, thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it. We went over our 1 hour mark as we usually do, right? It gets too juicy towards the end, but we want to give a big shout out to our sponsors as always. First of all, if you guys can, give us some help in our Cash App directly. Money sign, the Rising Texan Media. Guys, we accept some donations to keep everything going, but our sponsors, we want to give a big thank you because they're the ones who support us and keep this thing going. Rodriguez Consulting and Services, 830-971-4068. Offices of Edgar Juarez, 830-752-0686. Viva Canine Dog Training, Grooming, and Boarding Center, 830-513-3523. Wagon Wheel, Smokehouse and Saloon, 830-513-7250. Guys, if you can't support us by giving us a donation in Cash App at $ the Rising Texan Media, please go out and support our sponsors. To me, that's gold right there, guys. You don't have to support me directly. Support our sponsors. You need some business counseling? Rodriguez Consulting and Services will take care of you. Payroll services, HR services, 830-971-4068. Better call Juarez. Law offices of Juarez, 830-752-0686. Viva Canine Training, Grooming, and Boarding Center for your little furry friends, 830-513-3523. For the best brisket in town, Wagon Wheel, Smokehouse and Saloon, 830-513-7250. Again, our Cash App is $ the Rising Texan Media. We appreciate you guys. If you can't support us directly, please go out and support our sponsors, guys. They're the ones who keep our show going. They're the ones who are there day in and day out supporting us. We really appreciate them. They keep on coming back and being sponsors month after month. So, guys, if you can, please go and support them. Show up at their business. Call and ask what services, what food do they have. You're looking for an attorney. You got Edgar Juarez. Better call Juarez. You got to call him if you need any divorces, child support issues, accidents. Go ahead and give a call, please, to Edgar Juarez. Rodriguez Consulting and Services. Guys, you need payroll, HR services. These guys, advertising, these guys are the place to be. 830-971-4068. Law Office of Edgar Juarez again. Better call Edgar. For your furry friends, you know where to contact. Viva Canine Dog Training, Grooming, and Boarding Center. Guys, I really appreciate y'all. You guys have been excellent today. Remember, hashtag stop the steal. Hashtag stop the steal. Good night, all. Appreciate your time. One last thing. Do me a favor, guys. Please share this video. Whether you see it on Facebook, you see it on YouTube. Please, guys, share this video. It helps me get more viewers, helps me get my word out. I'd love to be on your pages. So please, 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 I ask you one thing. If you cannot donate, you cannot support our sponsors, just hit the share. Hit the share button, share our video. The more people that see this, the better. That way we can hashtag stop the steal. Thank you, guys. Have a good night. Love you, Eagle Pass and Maverick County.